So, is Google killing your small business? Do you guys use Google? I know I use Google quite a bit to get new customers to come into my business. Um, we're going to watch a video on Google possibly hurting small businesses. Let's see where this goes.
Going out and finding information about the world is completely undermined. Google controls the biggest web browser in the world, the most popular mobile operating system. Those are being looked at more closely by competition regulators. The question is it in someone's short-term interest to kind of tear the whole thing down?
Do changes to Google mean the death of the web? Companies who've always relied on the search engine for traffic say they are no longer getting the clicks. So to work out what's going on, I'm joined by Joe Teasdale, Head of Tech at Enders Analysis.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me Google is shadow banning. Now, I did hear a story. Now, this guy that I heard, he's in the health industry, and he said that he was promoting natural health remedies, and he felt like he was being shadow banned in the Google search engine due to some other stuff that Google wanted to make that sure that was at the forefront of that particular search query. So it'd be interesting to see if Google might be possibly shadow banning certain people or certain topics or certain ideas, and if so, what we can do about that. Let's see where this goes.
Thanks a lot for being with us. Google search is changing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Google search is always changing since its launch, but the changes more recently are really kind of worrying some of the publishers who've come to rely on Google for traffic, the traffic that they need.
What are the changes to the Google search results pages that have meant that certain websites are getting a lot less traffic?
Well, there's a basic kind of disconnect in the interests of Google and some of the sites that it works with. Its ultimate users are the end users. They're people like you and me who are searching for things. They need to find information, products, that kind of thing. And more and more Google is looking to answer those queries without passing people on to other sites. So if you search for, what time's the match tonight, Google will just tell you inline in the search. And that's great for users, but it does mean that more and more people don't have to then go on to.
This is very, very interesting. So, and this is crazy because Google is beginning to use a lot more of artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence will be able to answer your query right within the Google platform, versus in the past where you may have actually had to click through to a website in order to see the information that you're actually looking for. But then that poses another question that I'm thinking of. Google is its own business, and can other businesses really get upset at how Google chooses to provide information to its end user? Me as a business, can I get upset at Google if they're not sending traffic through to my website? Or do I need to pivot and just take notice of what Google is doing and, create a new strategy to drive that traffic to my website? This is interesting. Let me know what you guys are thinking.
To the sites which have maybe gone out and discovered this information in the real world.
And is ultimately the aim of that is keeping people on Google so that they are then exposed to more advertising and Google can make more money?
Well, it's about making Google more useful, right? I mean, if you just have a straightforward query about a particular bit of information and Google can just tell you that, then that's a great user experience. The question is, does that undermine the whole basis of the web, which is what led to, which is what enables Google to answer those questions in the first place, right? And it's the same thing with shopping, right? And that is a big commercial category for Google, right? If you want to buy a pair of shoes and you search the brand, in the past maybe you click through to the brand's website, you go to their checkout, you find it on Amazon. Now, a lot of the time at the top of the search page, there's a bunch of product listing ads, which you can click on, you can check out, basically in the same environment that Google's providing. And that's a great user experience, but it does mean that, yeah, Google is keeping more of that value within it.
And if they do end up doing something like that on a bigger scale, they'll be able to collect those fees from everything that they sell within their own environment. Interesting.
Same systems.
And that also means that Google is having a bigger say on which sites things are being sold through, right? Because Google tends to, it would appear, and based upon some leaked documents in particular about how Google search works, that it does favor sites that.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Amazon. Amazon, they serve as the marketplace, for everybody to come and sell their stuff. But then also, Amazon also sells their own items inside the marketplace. So they're acting as a seller and they're acting as a marketplace. Maybe Google is possibly trying to take some of the business model from Amazon and implement it into Google to maybe stay competitive or compete with Amazon. What you guys think? Does that resonate with you? Does that make sense? Do you guys think that this kind of sounds like the Amazon model a little bit?
That have been around for a long time, that have built up a good reputation, but also are already quite big.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Google has a real problem because they have, well, it's a nice problem to have, right? They have more than 90% share of the search market. And so there are literally millions of sites who are looking to get to the top of that list, either by offering a great service to users or just by trying to kind of game the Google algorithm. So all the time, Google is looking for these kind of proxies, which will ensure that they give those high quality sites more prominence, because it's no good for anyone if they serve up a bunch of kind of spammy nonsense, right? Because people will click through to it and they'll have a bad experience. They'll stop using Google for the things that they need.
All of this is very bad news for small retailers, and they're the ones that are reporting 90%, 95% drops in Google traffic over the past couple of years since these changes have been taking place. So do companies that have until now relied on getting traffic through this, I suppose what's really a platform for them, Google search, now need to have a rethink about how they try to find their customers?
If you look at the kind of best evidence we have for the overall volume of referrals coming from search, it's going up over time, right? And if you look at, say, news publishers, a sector that we look at in some detail, there are winners and losers within that category. But overall, they continue in the UK to get 35% of their traffic coming from their external traffic coming from search. What you tend to hear about is the anecdotes from the people who've really lost out from algorithm changes, and those do exist. And sometimes some of the changes do cause a problem for a whole category. I think it's always safer to.
And that's something that you guys can't really get around. The algorithm is going to continue to change. And as a business owner, a small business professional, a service-based professional, you just got to stay up to date with the algorithms. Every time an algorithm update is made, people see a change in their traffic or a change in visitors to their page, and you just have to do your due diligence. You can't get mad at how another company decides to make updates to their algorithm. That's crazy to me. So that's why I always say, make sure you guys are diversified in your traffic. Don't just depend on one channel to drive traffic to your business. Don't just depend on Google. Don't just depend on Instagram. Don't just depend on YouTube, because any day, those platforms can make changes to their algorithms. And if that's the only one that you were using, that could really impact your business. So if this video resonated with you, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And if you guys are interested, make sure you check the link in the description. You can join my MasterMind community. And until next time, we will see you in the next video.